And the Oscar goes to Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. didn't win an Oscar for becoming a better actor in Oppenheimer. He won because he finally stopped being Tony Stark. But why couldn't he win one in the MCU? The role that built modern cinema, redefined superheroes, and carried Marvel for a decade somehow wasn't serious enough for Hollywood. Well, let's find out. Robert Downey Jr. has been nominated for an Oscar exactly 3 times in his career. And when you look at what he got nominated for, a disturbing pattern emerges. 1992, nominated for playing Charlie Chaplin, a real person who died decades ago. 2008, nominated for Tropic Thunder, where he literally plays an actor playing another character.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
2024, wins for playing Louis Strauss, another real dead guy. You see what's happening here? The Academy will only recognize Robert Downey Jr. when he's playing someone else. The moment he brings his actual personality to a role, the thing that made Iron Man iconic, suddenly it's not real acting anymore. It's like saying a master chef isn't really cooking because they make it look too easy.
Come on!
But this goes deeper than just one actor. This is about a fundamental bias that's been poisoning Hollywood's most prestigious awards for decades. And Robert Downey Jr.'s journey exposes it all. In 96 years of Oscar history, exactly 2 superhero movie performances have ever won acting awards. 2. Heath Ledger as the Joker, and Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, playing a completely unhinged descent into madness. Notice a pattern? Both wins went to the same character. And not just any character, the villain. The psychotic clown who represents everything dark and twisted about humanity. This isn't an accident. This is institutional bias dressed up as artistic integrity. The Academy has created an invisible ceiling for genre films, and they've been gaslighting us about it for decades. Martin Scorsese, a director I deeply respect, literally said Marvel movies aren't cinema, they're theme parks. Imagine being so out of touch that you think the most culturally significant film franchise of the 21st century doesn't count as art because kids enjoy it too much. But here's where it gets really twisted. You know what the Academy does consider prestige filmmaking? 3-hour movies about scientists arguing in boardrooms. Let me blow your mind with something most people don't realize. Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark isn't just great superhero acting. It's one of the most sophisticated character performances in modern cinema, period. Think about what he accomplished across 11 movies and 11 years. He took a character who could have been a one-dimensional rich guy in a robot suit and gave him the emotional complexity of King Lear. Watch Iron Man 1 again. Really watch it. In the cave scene with Yinsen, Downey conveys a complete personality transformation with just his eyes. The moment Tony Stark realizes he's been living his life wrong, it's devastating. Then track that arc through Civil War, where his guilt over collateral damage tears the Avengers apart. Or Infinity War, where his greatest fear, failing to protect the people he loves, literally comes true. And don't even get me started on Endgame. That final I am Iron Man moment, that's not just great superhero filmmaking. That's Shakespearean tragedy wrapped in a blockbuster bow. But none of this mattered to the Academy. You know why? Because Robert Downey Jr. made it look too easy. The Academy has this weird fetish for visible effort. They want to see you suffering for your art. Lose 50 pounds, gain 50 pounds, learn a new accent, wear prosthetics that take 5 hours to apply. Christian Bale in Vice? Oscar nomination. Gary Oldman unrecognizable as Churchill? Oscar win. Rami Malek with fake teeth playing Freddie Mercury? Oscar win. But give a performance so naturalistic, so perfectly calibrated that it feels effortless? Oh, he's just playing himself. It's the ultimate backhanded compliment. Robert Downey Jr. was so good at being Tony Stark that people forgot it was acting at all. Meanwhile, he was actually doing something far more difficult than putting on fake teeth. He was creating a consistent character across multiple directors, multiple writers, and multiple storylines spanning over a decade. That's not easy, that's unprecedented. But the Academy couldn't see past their own biases. Here's a stat that'll make you sick. In the history of the Academy Awards, science fiction, fantasy, and superhero films have received acting nominations less than 1% of the time. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, 3 of the most acclaimed films ever made, generated exactly 0 acting nominations across 9 hours of cinema. Star Wars, 0 acting nominations. Black Panther made history as the first superhero film nominated for Best Picture, and what happened? The acting got completely ignored. The Academy treats genre films like cinematic second-class citizens. They can win technical awards, visual effects, sound design, makeup, but acting, directing, the important categories, that's for real movies. It's genre bias that's been going on for decades.
I don't play well with others.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that away, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Let's talk about what actually happened with Oppenheimer, because this is where the story gets really interesting. Robert Downey Jr. didn't just play Louis Strauss, he disappeared into him. Gone is the smooth-talking Tony Stark charm. Instead, we get this pinched, bitter man consumed by petty jealousy and wounded pride. The physical transformation is subtle but complete. Different posture, different vocal patterns, different energy. It's the anti-Tony Stark, and it's brilliant. And funny enough, this isn't even the first time we've asked the question about Downey's acting range. In fact, in my last video, I explored whether Robert Downey Jr. could pull off the role of Dr. Doom. Yeah, Iron Man trading in the armor for Marvel's greatest villain. If you haven't seen that breakdown yet, you'll want to check it out after this. But here's what's fascinating. This performance works because of his time as Iron Man, not in spite of it. Playing the same character for 11 years taught him things about consistency, about finding new layers in familiar material, about the long game of character development. Iron Man made him a better actor, but the Academy could only see it as a detour from serious work. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Robert Downey Jr.'s personal story. The Academy loves a comeback narrative. And Downey's story, his struggles and personal setbacks to becoming the highest paid actor in Hollywood, was the ultimate comeback story. But here's the twist nobody talks about. Iron Man was the comeback. That role, that franchise, that cultural phenomenon. That was him proving to the world that he'd not only recovered, but had become more powerful than ever. But the Academy couldn't celebrate that comeback because it happened in the wrong genre. So they waited. They waited until he did something they could understand, something that fit their narrow definition of what real acting looks like. And when he finally gave them a performance they could recognize, complete with physical transformation and dramatic weight, suddenly they were ready to celebrate his entire journey. It's like watching your kids score the winning goal in the championship game and then waiting until they clean their room to finally tell them you're proud. Oppenheimer wasn't just a great performance. It was the perfect storm of everything the Academy values. Christopher Nolan directing? Check. Historical importance? Check. 3-hour runtime that screams serious cinema? Check. Physical and vocal transformation? Check. Supporting role that doesn't carry the burden of being the lead? Check. Plus, it came with the ultimate Academy catnip, the chance to finally give Robert Downey Jr. his due, while simultaneously validating their own taste. They could celebrate him for doing real acting while conveniently ignoring that his most culturally significant work happened in a genre they refuse to respect. It's having your cake and eating it too, with a side of artistic snobbery. When Robert Downey Jr.'s name was called that night at the Oscars, something shifted in the room. You could feel it. This wasn't just about one performance or one award. This was the end of a story that started in a cave in Afghanistan 17 years earlier. But as he walked up those stairs, holding that golden statue, I couldn't help but think about the performance that wasn't being honored. The one that actually changed everything. Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Tony Stark's I Am Iron Man moment did more for cinema than most Best Picture winners combined. It launched a storytelling revolution that redefined what movies could be and what audiences would accept. But revolutions, apparently, aren't Oscar-worthy. Only reflections on revolutions count. Robert Downey Jr. now has his Oscar. He's completed his comeback story. He's proven to the establishment that he's a serious actor. But you know what? He proved that a long time ago. He proved it every time he made us care about a billionaire in a robot suit. Every time he took a ridiculous concept and made it feel like the most important thing in the world. That's not easy. That's not just playing yourself. That's magic. And the fact that it took the Academy this long to recognize his talent says more about them than it does about him. So what do you think? Was the Academy right to wait, or did they miss something incredible by ignoring the MCU performances? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video opened your eyes to something you hadn't considered before, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.